I was teleported into this completely white light, and I had no idea what was going on, but it was so, like, bright. Welcome back to another Vibes and Frequencies video. My name is Nathan, and while on my channel I normally talk about crystal energy and the work that I'm doing with crystals, today's video is very different. I'm literally in this video just sharing some experiences that I've had, and I believe that they're from Moldavite. I'm not sure if any of you guys have ever heard before or heard the suggestion that Moldavite would bring about alien contact experiences. Um, I personally did not know this about Moldavite in the beginning, and well, I never used to really believe in aliens in the way that I do now since I've had these experiences. And long story short, I would like to share with you guys some alien contact experiences that I've had, as well as seeing ships in the sky, what my experience was like, and how that came from Moldavite. So this is just story time and me sharing my experience with you. If you have any experiences like this, or if you've ever heard this about Moldavite, let me know below. I haven't talked to too many people who have had these kinds of things happen, and I don't know, it's kind of difficult to talk about because it's kind of like weird, far out stuff, and it would be cool to know if somebody else related. So, that being said, I'll go ahead and get into it. The very first thing that I want to share with you guys is that I never had any contact with any aliens or anything, and as soon as I brought Moldavite into my life, I started having very weird feelings of being an alien myself, feeling like there were other presences around me, and this had a lot to do with my transformation. I started to see things and feel things that I had never felt before or really connected with before. And this kind of branched out and exploded into some pretty profound experiences. So, that being said, it's all come from Moldavite kind of shifting me into this reality, right? Let me go ahead and well, I'm going to take a seat for this. This first experience, I'm going to be very brief because I actually have a full video literally explaining this the morning after it happened to me. And you could see in the video, I'm like literally like crying. Like I was like so mind blown. You could see it in my face. I was like freaking out. It was when I first started my YouTube, so the video didn't necessarily get much momentum, but I'll go ahead and tag it up above at some point here and also link it at the end in case you want to see it. But long story short, what happened to me is I was walking outside to my car. I heard 3 vibrational rings that were very intense. It went along the lines of, and it's hard to express the sound, but it was like, wah, 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 wah. It's crazy. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it felt so intense. My entire body was shook by these vibrations. And I all of a sudden had this very intense, agitated, freaking out kind of feeling inside. I got in the back of my car. I was like terrified. I started feeling this weird, like falling sensation of like gravity. All the layers of my reality started dissolving, and I was teleported into this completely white light, and I had no idea what was going on, but it was so like bright. It wasn't like white like a piece of paper, but bright to the extent where you just can't see through your eyes. It was very weird feeling. And it felt very high dimensional and very the most crazy experience I've ever had up to this point in my life. Nothing has been crazier, and I've done some pretty far out psychedelic drugs, to be honest with you guys, in the past. This was way more intense and had nothing to do with drugs or dreaming or anything, so it just makes it it makes it that much more powerful and crazy. Anyways, I'm feeling all this intense light, and I'm feeling the presence of these beings, and I can visually see and experience that there are these weird beings that are like hunched over in this like chilling position, like almost like they're sitting in like an egg kind of vehicle. And I'm laughing about it now and telling the story way differently than I did back then. I was freaking out back then, but this like chilling weird like long tall stretched out like skinny being just chilling in this weird egg like vehicle. And the thing is this wasn't coming from up in the sky, it was coming from down below me, and he had this beam device that he was shooting up into me, and it felt like all of a sudden I like lost reality of who I was, and all of a sudden felt like I was a computer downloading information is the best way to explain it. It basically felt like I was just downloading a bunch of crazy like, I don't even know. And it was like downloading. I felt like I was a machine being uploaded a whole bunch of wild information. And then there's like multiple of these beings. And it goes way more deep and was very intense. Like I said, if you want to hear more about that experience, I'll go ahead and I'll link that video if you're curious to see it. But the trippiest part of it was that as soon as it was over, I was teleported into my bedroom. And I had no recollection of how I got to my bedroom. I wasn't missing any time. It wasn't like I blank of time and like what happened. I missed the space of how I got from point A to point B, right? I was at my car leaving work. Boom, I was teleported into this white light where I started receiving a bunch of downloads from these beings. Then point C, all of a sudden I'm in my room going, how the heck did I get here? And what the heck just happened? I was so mind blown. And yeah, I'll go ahead and leave it at that, because this one I could take really far and get really intense about again, but there's already a full video, so that's that. Now, the next part that I want to share with you guys is actually something that, and by the way, this is not just me sharing just like alien experiences. I mean, I know that it is, but this really has a lot to do with Moldavite, guys. And again, it's because of what I mentioned in the beginning. It really opened me up to these different doorways and dimensions of reality. And I think it's kind of like a permission slip of me saying to the universe, I'm cool with these things happening. So again, I am curious if you've felt any of this stuff or felt anything like this before. All these leaves in my camera. Okay, so this one was more recent, and this actually took place during a group meditation that actually my good friend Chris, aka Light Codes, he's one of my subscribers here. I hope you're watching. But shout out to you, man. Thank you again for sharing this meditation with me. It's a group meditation where they were experimenting with the collective consciousness. And long story short, a whole bunch of us, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think there was like 80,000 people or something doing it. But we all went out under the stars at night. And like I was personally away from everybody else up in the mountains near where I live. And we sit there and we listen to this guided meditation. We use our intention, you know, we're saying like it's okay, like we want the aliens to come and contact us, show us that you're here. Very far out stuff. I know I don't usually talk about this stuff on my channel, guys, but I did do this meditation. And then at the end of it, it says, open your eyes and just lay back on the ground and just look around in the sky and see if you see anything, right? It was literally an experiment, was the idea of the meditation, was an experiment of collective consciousness and the power of it. So I wasn't really expecting to see anything. I was just doing it I figured it was going to raise my vibration over time, right? Like this meditation, it would be good because it would be me saying to the universe that I am appreciative of the higher dimensional beings and I know that they're there and I'm ready for them to show themselves to me when they're ready for me, right? I didn't necessarily think it was going to happen right then, but literally I opened my eyes and I started cracking up laughing because I could not believe it, and that was my reaction. The entire sky, more than stars, there were these spaceships. And the thing is, they didn't look anything like spaceships I would normally expect. They looked like white orbs, like glowing orbs. And what was really interesting is they were all flying around together and doing all these different patterns. And then like they were flying in almost, this is a great way to explain it. I didn't think of this. I've got a stabilizer. I'll kind of pan down here so you could see what I'm kind of holding here. This thing right here, it makes it so it stabilizes it, and whatever I'm doing, no matter how much I'm shaking, it makes it seem like it's straight, and it films that way, right? The ships were flying exactly like this. Like, it was like unreal. We have no technology in terms of ships like that. Like, no matter what direction it was going, it was always upright, just like my camera. Like, it's hard to explain, but like perfectly upright, all flying around in different, like making like weird shapes almost, or like they're dancing like to a song. I don't know. It was so weird. It was so weird. And I'm sitting there cracking up because I started counting and I counted at least 50. And I'm not like, I mean, you guys could just take this as entertainment value if you want, but I was so mind blown. And I laughed. And I laid on the ground, and this took place for over 3.5 hours. They all were doing this. And a few of them started coming in closer to me. And so I started putting out my intention and trying to manifest that they would come to me. right? Like, actually come and land their ship or take me with them. Yep, that's me. Anyways, I start putting out that intention and hoping, oh my gosh, they're like, this is my chance. I'm totally going to get taken on an alien spaceship right now, right? And that did not happen. But a few of them did start coming closer to me. And what was really interesting is as they got closer, of course, they grew in size, but they also turn off their lights as they got closer. And that's what's interesting. When they were further out, they're like this glowing orb, like literally just looked like a glowing orb, just doing weird, crazy maneuvers like this, like nothing I've ever seen before. A whole bunch of them. And as they got closer, they turn off their lights or something. Or maybe I just didn't perceive their lights as they got closer. I don't know. But as they got closer, if I was staring at one while it still had its lights on and coming in, as soon as it turned its lights off, if I kept my focus on it, my eyes would adjust and I could see that it literally was like this metal like object that was like spherical, like, but like not a complete circle. But oh my gosh, guys. Oh my gosh. It was completely awesome. And yeah, so my life has been really powerfully changed by these experiences. And something I'd like to point out is the fact that I said I just started cracking up and laughing. This is what Moldavite does to me. And there's a certain way that Moldavite, when it's activated for me, it kind of triggers this electricity and this buzzing sensation. And to me, I start laughing. I feel really spaced out and like it's hard to think, but very easy to be present. This is exactly what happened to me when I started to see those ships. Is I felt my Moldavite sending these vibrational energy waves into me. And I'm not saying that, well, okay, yeah, I kind of am. I do not believe that I would have seen those ships or that they would have come to me if I haven't been working with Moldavite. I 100% believe that Moldavite is the reason for it. And same with the first experience. I know I didn't go too far out with the first story, but again, it's because I have the whole video on it already. But seriously, these things like the alien contact experience happened to me the first time a month after I got Moldavite. Never anything ever at all happening in my life. I get Moldavite, start feeling weird presences around me. Boom. All of a sudden, I'm like not abducted because it wasn't like that, but you guys get the idea. So, Moldavite is really powerful at raising our vibration and expanding our awareness, I have found. It really dissolves a lot of layers of our ego that we carry on us, helps us to look inward. And when we look inward, we tend to realize and feel, at least for me, I'll speak for myself, that the world around me is me. Like literally, it's all the same, and I literally am reality itself. So, same with the aliens, right? I know that I am the aliens, and I know that they know that I am them. We are all just an extension of the same source echo, right? And I know that sounds kind of far out, but I feel like once I started feeling that and feeling that kind of connection to the universe, way more magic has come into my life. Not just with aliens, but like literal magic, crazy manifestation, all kinds of interdimensional teleportation, quantum jumping. Yeah. So, this being said, thank you guys for watching this Vibes and Frequencies video where I literally just told you about 2 alien experiences that I've had. Those are the only ones I've had so far. And I expect there will be more, especially because of how many ships were presented to me in the collective consciousness meditation. Um, I I have this sense that there's something specifically like some kind of message for me. And I felt since that feeling of with the first experience, downloads coming into me from up in the earth, which I know is weird because we think that it would come from up above, but it came from underground, which I still don't understand. This information I have felt surface in me over time, like downloads coming up. And that vibrational ringing, wah, 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 I've heard it multiple times on different occasions now. And I seem to be the only one that's hearing it for some reason, because there was one experience where I was hearing it in my apartment while my roommate was in there next to me, and he didn't hear it at all. And so this begs the question, is this in my imagination? Or is this like really happening? But the thing is I feel like I have a pretty good distinction between my imagination for the most part and like reality. And it's too real to just be something that I'm just projecting. And especially with the first experience, I didn't imagine that. I didn't want that. I wasn't trying to manifest this experience. It just randomly happened. So I don't know, guys. I would love to talk to you about this in the comments below. I'll go ahead and end this video here. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. This video is unlike anything I've done, so if you're gonna subscribe, know that these kind of videos are more rare, but anyways, thank you guys. Have a good rest of your day, and I'm very excited to see what kind of alien experiences you may or may not have had. Goodbye.